Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. It is Back and Forth with Becker and Orr. We're going to have a lot of fun today. You can see all the topics on the bottom of the screen, starting with the market correction. Is it done? I'm not sure. We're going to talk about that. We'll also go through a lightning round. That's always a lot of fun. You want to stick around.
Yes, Back and Forth is back today on a fabulous Friday. It's cold, it's sunny outside. We're having a great time. Now, if you want more of our Back and Forths or any of the Financial 15s, please go to our YouTube site and subscribe. We want that more than anything, more content for you, more information that you can get to. If not, like us on Facebook. You can also visit our website at beckerorr.com. We've got all this information and more than happy to answer any of the questions. But today we are talking about a few different odds and ends. But before we go into that, Clint, what important information do you have for everybody watching today?
Absolutely. We're holding a live market Q&A. You can see it on the screen there. Thursday, February 17th. So next week, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's going to be live. No registration required. We'll put the link in the description. You simply click the link and you can participate. We'll do a quick market update, talk about inflation, interest rate, where we think the markets are heading. And of course, we will be taking lots of questions. So if you want to participate in that, simply click the link in the description. So let's get into it here, Kevin. I'll throw this to you. We've had lots of turbulence already in 2022. I'll bring up a little bit of data. Talk to the data here. Is this correction over? What's going on?
Well, again, there's no clear definition that we have correction over or whether we're still going to have more. But if we just base it on historic numbers, and of course, that always has some sort of a guidance for us going forward, you can see that anytime we've had a 5% or worse loss, it happens 95% of the years that have existed in almost the last 100 years. 10%, 63% of the time. The chances of this going down to that 30 or 40 that we saw when this entire initiation of COVID came around, 5%. Odds are not good we're going anywhere near that. And again, it also depends on, is it recessionary? Is it non-recessionary? Right now, we're not in a recessionary time frame. So number of corrections, very small. And we're not going to have it for a large amount, and we're not going to have it for long. I mean, that's sort of the basis. So is the correction over? I don't know where it's over, but I don't think that we have a whole bunch more landslide down. What do you say?
Yeah. And that data is by Ben Carlson, by the way. And you're correct. Outside of a recession, which right now the economy is not in recession. In fact, is a bit of the opposite situation. We're seeing some big growth numbers out of the economy. Part of the reason we're seeing higher inflation. So definitely not recessionary times. And if that is the case, market correction outside of recessionary times, they tend to be shallower and they tend to be shorter. Now, is the one we're in the mix of now done? I'm not sure. Personally, I think we could have a little more turbulence left. Exactly. And in general, I think we could be in for a rocky 2022. Doesn't mean we get a landslide drop, but we could be in for a couple of corrections as the economy adjusts to interest rate hikes and inflation. It's a process, and it could be a few bumps as we go through that. So is this one over? Not sure. Personally, I'm thinking we could see a little more of a downside yet. But in general, a rocky 2022. Are you on the same page?
Yeah, I am. And again, it's going to be up and down and up and down. And I think, again, inflation numbers coming out. Well, if inflation numbers come out even higher and higher over the next little while, or if we haven't reached the peak yet, we probably got a little bit more downside. But if it's over, then, second half of the year may look a little bit better than what the first half of the year looks like. But I'm on the same page as you. So I think that's the perfect place to go. But other than that one, now we get to the tech. What is going on with tech and how is it driving the market, Clint?
Yeah, the tech wreck. Now, it does depend on the company, but this definitely grabbed headlines. It was last week. I pulled up one from CNBC, and Facebook did not have a good day. They released their earnings, and the shares dropped a quarter, dropped over like 25%. And it is a massive company. So when you see that type of drop in a single day, well, that's hundreds of billions of dollars of a decline in terms of market cap. In fact, it set a record for the largest one-day drop in the value in the stock market's history, in kind of a trend. Now, other big companies have done fine. Amazon, Apple, Google all had pretty strong numbers, pretty strong bounces. But we're seeing a trend as interest rates are rising. You're getting some of the tech companies, the Pelotons, the Zooms, maybe not the giants outside of Facebook, but that mid-cap, small-cap tech, they're getting hit pretty hard. What's going on here?
Yeah, and it's amazing how they drive the market one way or the other, because I remember watching Alphabet's numbers the day before, and they blew away estimates. And also for their forecast, they blew it away. Market goes up 300 points in the Dow that day. All of a sudden, Facebook comes out, does the opposite. Market goes down 300 points that day. And again, I mean, that number that we're seeing down below, I was reading a report out of the S&P 500. If you took the 450 companies, below the top 50, that is higher than all of their market values added together for a one-day drop for a company. I mean, that's incredible for the size and what they've got. I don't know that we're in tech wreck. I think the fact that you hear economy opening up again, and we've heard this many times, if we start to see that the Omicron virus is going to be weaker going forward and everything else, we do open the economy, then yeah, your tech's going to take a little bit of a hit here because we're not living in tech world anymore. We're experiencing things and going out. But I don't think a wreck's coming. These companies are too big, too well established, and they actually make money now as opposed to, say, the 2000 tech wreck. So again, we're going to get corrections for these things. This pendulum tends to swing way too far one way or the other every time an announcement comes. But I do think that you could get a little bit of a correction here for them, but it's not going to be one of those ones where it's a wreck, I don't think.
Yeah, and it does depend on the size here. So the giants, the Apples, the Googles, the Amazons, the Facebooks, yes, some of them got hit, Facebook specifically, but if you go down to the mid-cap companies, the small-cap companies, those are the ones where you're seeing some pretty big drops. Peloton, a perfect example. That has definitely been a wreck. When a company drops 80%, it's hard to say it's not a wreck. And I think part of what's going on there is, like you talked about, we're no longer in the same situation we were in the COVID times. So you're seeing the rotation out of that. You're also seeing interest rates go up, which kind of has a re-rating the stocks. People are investors thinking, all right, this company's going to make a whole bunch of money down the road, losing money today, but lots in the future. If interest rates start going up, well, the value of that money down the road is not quite as strong. So you're having those two forces, kind of a re-rating in addition to that rotation. So some of those smaller tech companies have had a very bumpy ride. Now, it won't last forever, but that's kind of what we're going through at the moment. So let's shift gears here, Kevin. We've got to get into the lightning round here. Make sure you get your thinking toque on. We're going to have a little bit of fun.
Start us off with the questions that I get to answer today.
I've got them all ready to get. We're rapid fire succession. We're going movies, we're going Super Bowl, we're going financial items. We're covering it all. And we're going to start off with the financial items here.
Yes.
We've heard lots of back and forth when it comes to Fed rate hikes. How many rate hikes are we going to get this year?
Ooh, the thinking toque is really going to go on that one. Now, I've heard everything from 4, and the recent one was 7 rate hikes that we're going to get in the U.S. My personal opinion is I think that we're going to stick around that 4 time frame. I think that the rate hikes may be a little larger. You may get a 50 point here or there, or a 25, or more than the 25, but I don't see it being that dramatic. I mean, yes, you want to calm inflation down. If you start doing that, I think you're going to kill a lot of the economy. So yes, I'm going to say roughly 4. I'm not going to go any further than that.
Alrighty, so 4 is the number. We're going to hold you to it. And then we got to have some fun in the sports world. We're seeing the Super Bowl on the weekend, Rams, Bengals. I've been looking at all the different odds because you can bet on everything when it comes to the Super Bowl. You name some weird item, there's probably going to be an odds maker for it. But keep it simple here. The total points, 48.5 seems to be the number. Are you over or under?
Actually, I'm going to go over that one. First of all, I'm betting on the coin toss. The Rams are going to win the coin toss. There's the first one. Other than that one, then we're going to go for the points. I think both of these teams, even though defense played a really good part in them getting to where they are, I think that both have explosive offenses. Cooper Kupp and Stafford on one side. You've got Chase on one side along with Burrows. I just think that we're going to go over that 48 points. So over 48.
Offensive shootout. That'd make for some good TV for sure.
Yes.
Yes. Also on TV, the Olympics. Canada's doing all right, racking in the medals. The expectation, I think, was for 22 medals total for Canada. What number do we get here, Kevin?
Actually, the fact that we missed out on a couple early but have gotten some that we shouldn't expect, I'm going to go higher than 22. I think that we could easily get back to where we would have been in 2010 in Vancouver and say 26. I think that there's enough fence left with the speed skating, between the short track, between the big air, things along those lines. Plus, Canada's men's hockey team looked good. There's a women's hockey team. Curling seems to be okay. I think we're getting a lot higher. Let's go 26.
Okay. Let's do it. And then a quick rate question for you. You already told me you're thinking 4 rates. Follow-up question. Who hikes first, Canada or the U.S.?
Canada. And the only reason is because our meeting's before theirs. That's my rationale. Canada hikes first. It
was on the calendar. That was an easy one. Last question here of the lightning round. Spider-Man. I know you've seen it. I haven't seen the new Spider-Man movie. But it is a box office, just smashing records here. It's been phenomenal, even though we're in COVID. It's actually right now 6th all time. It's right behind number 5, which is Avengers Infinity Wars. Does it crack the top 5 before it's out of theaters?
Yes, I think it will. And the main rationale to me is there's nothing really coming out at the theaters right now. So if you want to go see something, you really have to see Spider-Man or some lower rated area that's there. So I do believe that Spider-Man will crack without a problem. I think we're good on that one. So yes, Spider-Man breaks it in theaters.
Alrighty. Hitting the top 5 all time.
We're switching gears here now. My turn. All right. Now, we've mentioned Super Bowl to a point. I could ask the who's winning question, but I'm going to go in a different vein on football. Now that Super Bowl's here and we've had free agency effective on Tuesday this week for the CFL, do the Bombers with their team, can they three-peat?
Ooh, I'm skeptical. I love big Bombers fan. I'd love to see them three-peat. I think it'll be very tough for them to keep that team together. In fact, we've already started to see that. Some of the players not re-signing or being traded.
Exactly.
I'm going to say they're not going to have the same team. It won't be as strong. They won't be able to do the three-peat.
Okay, that's good. Hey, I don't mind. They'll be a good team, but we'll see from there. Now, I'm going to switch gears into the government scenario in the U.S. right now. Something that we can take a look at. Now, Biden's ratings have come down a little bit. Midterm elections come up way down the road yet, so we're still talking November. But based on the present situation, do the Democrats hold either the House or the Senate, or are they going to lose both?
I think they lose both. And lots can change between now and when those midterms happen in the fall. But I mean, just look at history.
Yep.
I mean, Obama came in, he had a kind of a sweep there, majority, midterms, he lost it. Trump, sweep, Republican majority, midterms, not the case. I think you're going to see a repeat of that again here. Biden comes in, they do have a majority, technically hold the Senate, the House, plus the presidency. I think you lose both. I think you lose the Senate, and I think you lose the House in the midterm elections.
Great. Okay, I'll look at that one. Now, we have seen nothing but oil prices go up and up and up, and we've cracked 90, and, the gas pumps are going everywhere else. Will we break $100 oil by the end of June, or basically the start of summer?
I'm not sure if we get there by the end of June. I think we do break $100 oil, but I think we could see a retest. It could be a little bit of a pullback before that next leg higher. So that June timeframe, I'm not too sure about. Maybe there's a bit of a pullback, and then we go higher, and I think we eventually hit 100.
Oh, that's perfect. So things along that line. Now, I guess if I want to come up with something else along those lines, there's definitely more questions that I've got down the line. I think I've got 2 more left, or 1 more.
Well, whatever you feel like. Let's go 1 more.
One more. Okay, I'll go with 1 more question off that one. So, which do we think, we'll get back to that Super Bowl scenario, which is going to be the bigger draw? The audience numbers are measured usually over the course, but they also do things. Is the halftime show going to get more viewers than the actual game?
Oh, yeah, easily. The halftime show is supposed to be star-studded. Perfect example. I'll watch the entire game. My wife won't even pay attention. She'll come in for the halftime show. So I think there's always more people during the halftime show than the actual game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you realize I was reading a report today based on that they do not get paid for that other than scale?
They get attention. They get hundreds of millions of viewers, and that's it. They don't actually get any physical, or not physical, they don't actually get any compensation.
No, I think that works perfect. Okay, we've done it. We've answered the questions. That's been a perfect scenario. So any other questions that you want to come up with on the topics, or anything you'd like us to talk about, is great. Reminder, we are doing a live event, Market Q&A. We are doing it the coming Thursday, February 17th at 6:30. Again, no registration needed. We'll send out the link. Click on it. We are more than happy to answer any of your questions that are going on for that sort of scenario. We want to let you know what's going on here and there. If you have questions beyond that, please, if you want to get in touch with us beforehand, feel free to talk to us, chatwithclintonandkevin.com. We're more than happy to answer questions on this, on that. We can talk Olympics. We can talk the Academy Awards and whether you've seen any of the movies coming out of there, the Best Picture. I know I've seen one. That's about it. Otherwise, market hikes, oil prices, we cover it all. So that's all I can say for today. I think we've done back and forth. What do you got for a closing comment?
I think that covers it all. So everyone stay safe. Take care.